Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I think it's like severely neglected, and I think that's what for a fact, for I know, like, you know what, you know those things that they call rap battles?
Right.
That's what they do. That's like verbal martial arts right there. Like, the dude's just standing there, and then they just freaking, the guy's just putting him down like crazy. Like, with all these rhymes and stuff, and just freaking like making everybody like laugh at him and stuff like that. Like, just embarrass him. And then he's got to take it all in until it's his turn. And then he tries to put the other guy down. And my friend, I was talking to him about this the other day. He mentioned to me that this one guy just couldn't take it, and he just knocked the guy out. Like, he just punched him. You know what I'm saying? And the dude just got knocked out. You know, it's like, that's a part of the development, this like emotional control, and like the ability to like take verbal abuse without like escalating it to physical violence. And I think that's in such a lack out there that is not like developed in any martial arts schools. You know, like say, you know, I'm Chinese and people start calling me like chink, whatever the hell, and then they want, you know, am I gonna just like choke them to death because they call me that? Or like, if you're a black person, somebody calls you the N-word, what, are you gonna shoot and kill them now? You know what I'm saying? And I think a lot of these people, they can't handle like verbal abuse. You know, and like for me, like part of my hardcore kung fu training, a lot of it comes from my parents and how they raised me. Like, they raised me hardcore. Like I'd get beat if I do something stupid. So I gotta make sure I don't do something stupid if I don't want to get beat, right? And then there was a lot of like verbal, like just like crazy yelling, like constantly. And then I'm just like I could take it. But other people, they don't grow up like that. They're like, everything's baby to them. Oh, you know, are you okay? You know, like the parents submit to the child, and the child is in control of them. You know, and then nobody, they go through their whole lives, not even one person yelling at them, not even one. You know, and then that is something that they just can't handle. If somebody yells at them, they just either break out in tears and they want to commit suicide, or they want to kill the person. You know, and I see that that's what's happening with my videos, is when I start yelling, people can't handle it. Some people might start crying. You know what I'm saying? You know, and the video is not even about like for them specifically, but it's just a video that I put out there, and then they chose to watch it, and all of a sudden, you know, they couldn't handle it.
Yeah.
You know, so I think that's a part. Not just I know that's a part of the martial arts that is necessary, but it's just something that is not. People don't even realize how important it is. You know?
Yeah. Well, that's the way, you know, that's the way a lot of fights start, is not being able to handle, you know, the verbal stuff.
Yeah. That's essentially how they start usually.
Yeah, somebody call you something and you react to it.
Yeah.
You know, you get all upset, and that escalates it so that suddenly it's going to become a violent confrontation because you've decided to throw something back their way. Right? Yeah. You challenge them.
Yeah.
Instead of just being able to control yourself.
Yeah.
You know? And I understand that people don't like to be like disrespected and yelled at and stuff. But I don't know. Like there is you got to be able to take some strong criticism. And in martial arts, like I've had different experiences. Like my first Sifu and martial arts, if I messed up, it wasn't just a verbal thing. Like I get hit, you know, I get kicked across the room or swept and knock on my head, you know. Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Like that, very few people get that type of like discipline, and that becomes their like downfall. You know, like because like even to do that nowadays, you'd be put in jail. Like even like the martial arts teacher can't do that because he'll be put in jail, and even the parent can't even do that openly or whatever because he'll get put in jail too. Right. So it's like it's a type of discipline that's needed,
but then it's not allowed by law.
Right.
You know, and that becomes like people's like failed development, like an area of like failed development that's critical, you know, for your ability to basically be like developed in all areas, you know. So then you could use whatever tool you need to use. So for example, you know, like if I need to intimidate somebody, I don't necessarily need to punch them or whatever. I mean, I could like yell back, just raise my tone of voice, and then they back off. You know what I mean? For example, police officer, if he's too soft with his directives, the person doesn't take him seriously, and then he may have to use the taser. But if he was very clear with his directions and very like loud, then the person listens, and he didn't have to use his taser. You know what I'm saying? Right. So it's just like in the military they work on that. The military and law enforcement, they work on that. Like as soon as you get into the police academy, they start yelling your brain away, like in your ear, just screaming at you and calling you all these names and everything. You know what I'm saying? Because they train you to be able to zone that stuff out. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And that's something that you rarely get. But in my fraternity, they did that too. You know, and they do that in the military. But anywhere else, you don't really find that. People, they break down. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? They can't handle emotional distress, basically. You know, and believe me, man, like me and Jenny get into it so much that like I'm like a pro at it now. Like, like I can just yell like so much, and it doesn't even faze her. Like she's just like, whatever, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, dang, like, that didn't work? That still didn't work? Like I yell so much that, like, man, I could literally be in jail right now because I yell so damn loud, you know what I'm saying? And she's just like, she's so like it just don't even faze her, man. It's just crazy, dude. I mean, that don't work. And she says the nastiest things to me, man, like the nastiest. You know, and I just like whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm like a pro at it, man. So that people they can't even like they can't get to me like that. And then I can escalate it so quick, like so much quicker than I ever did in the past, that people they're not even ready for it. It's like getting punched in the nose without like telegraphed motion. Like I can just come out like strong, and then people just boom, like they just. Like, whoa, you know? Like, I was never able to do that before. Before, it'd just be like, everything would just be held in. And everything's like building up, you know? Until basically, then I just keep getting verbally bullied, you know? But I've learned to basically get better at, like, just basically like quicker reactions, you know? Like, when people are like verbally bullying me, then I just come right back at them. But as far as like, not being, you know, to not people not like wanting to be disrespected, I think it's really silly. Like, say if somebody calls you, hey, you're an asshole, and then you're like, hey, you're a pussy, and then he's like, oh, you know, you call me a pussy, man, I don't like you anymore. Well, you call me an asshole. It's like, you know, like that to me is like, dude, you got back what you gave me, and you can't handle it. You're an idiot. That's how I feel some people are. It's like they dish it out to you, you dish it right back, and then they break down in tears. You know what I'm saying? Like I think that's nonsense. You know what I'm saying? That's nonsense. You know? Right. That is nonsense. You know, so that clearly indicates that the person needs development in that area. You know, because if you dish it out to them, they dish it right back out to you. Then you need to be able to take it, because you gave that. You know, you gave that to them. They just gave it right back to you.
Right. That's
you know, so you deserve to get it back. You know, but the people that they're all respectful to everybody, and then they get yelled at for no reason. Then I could understand why they're upset. You know, because you're nice, and then you getting yelled at. But if you're an asshole to them, and then they're an asshole to you, it's an equal exchange. You can't complain because you're an asshole to them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, to come.
Yeah, exactly. You know what I mean? But some people, they're an asshole, and then when you're an asshole back, they throw a shit fit. You know, they can't handle it. You know, and they start complaining. You know, it's like really, you know. But sometimes I go a little too far with it. Like they'll get it's like a fight. Like they give me a jab, and I give them like two hooks. You know what I'm saying? Like they say something like disrespectful, and then I just come back too hard. Like you know what I'm saying?
Full barrage.
So that needs to be like better controlled to like minimize like conflict. Is like, don't escalate it too much. You know, if they give you a 3, give them a 4. Don't give them like an 8. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. There you go.
So it's like a skill that needs to be developed. Where, like I'm telling you, and this stuff, you need to have this for children and for women, and just for basic self-defense. It's like, you don't even have to, a lot of times you don't even have to fight physically at all. A lot of it is verbal. Right. Especially in the workforce, because, you know, it's a professional environment. They're not supposed to just start punching you in the face, but they'll put you down. Like, they'll say things to, like, destroy your confidence. So, you know, they'll say things to just, like, you know, basically, you know, they're basically, like they're trying to pick a fight or whatever the case may be. They're trying to get to you. They're trying to get in your brain. And that's another thing that I realize is that I think a lot of times, like, they say, like, it sticks and stones, break my bones, words never hurt me. I think that's bullshit. The way that I see it is that the words, certain words that are said, is more dangerous than physical violence a lot of times that I see. You know, because if you say something to somebody, they could commit suicide, or they could hold that in their brain for like 10 years.
Yeah,
and
psychological damage.
Yeah, awesome. And they'll never forget it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that is an immense amount of damage that physical damage is incomparable.
Right.
You know? And the law doesn't protect that. You know, like the law can't say, oh, you know, put him in jail because he called me a whore. No, I mean, like, no, that law. But the guy rapes her, then yeah, he goes to jail. But he called her a whore, and then okay, now she wants to commit suicide because of that. Or, you know, you see the stories all the time. I mean, real stories where the children are cyberbullying or they're bullied in school and they just commit suicide. They just hang themselves because they can't handle all that verbal abuse. You know, and part of like the training is to be able to fight back verbally. You know, like comedians do it, and like rap battle artists, for example, like they do it like in a very creative and like very like you know, like street style way. And then there's like the professional way of doing it, which is like the people call like verbal judo and law enforcement or whatever the case may be. But I mean, you have to like learn to like put people in check verbally. Like that, to me, in my life in particular, that's like the most relevant for real life situations. It's not even about physical fighting. Like you know what I'm saying? You know,
yeah. You better be able to exude that kind of confidence and stuff so that they know that they can't mess with you any further. Right? It's dangerous for them.
Oh yeah. I mean, and Jenny has that, man. Jenny is just like, you see how like she is like boom, like just like, you know what I'm saying? Like she might not have like that combat, man, but they're like her voice and her like, man, she like overwhelms me, dude. Like when I'm at home, dude, like she's like all over, dude, like all over. And I'm like trained like to fight back like verbally, like constantly. She's like sparring with me verbally all the time. You know, like it might just be like a little change in the tone of voice, and I didn't deserve that. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, I didn't. You know what I'm saying? I just came home, and then she's like, hey, you know, why'd you throw the garbage away or something like that. It's like wait a minute here. You know what I'm saying? Like, no. You know what I'm saying? Like that like tone of voice. And then I gotta fight back. Like, no. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like you gotta like, so she's like always like verbally sparring me. And then I have to like fight back verbally. But she's still like, always like, she's always like, a step ahead of me, like a lot of steps ahead of me. It's like her verbally sparring me. It's like me physically sparring her. Like I'll destroy her. You know what I'm saying? And that's how it is with like the verbal, cause she's so extroverted that she owns that. Like I can't touch that. Yeah, but I'm getting better, you know. But it's just like it's hard. It's like she just like it's so natural to her. You know, it's like. It's like you need that training, and that training, I'm telling you, like it's like almost like never, like no martial arts school really offers that type of training. You know what I'm saying? Like imagine like you go to martial arts school and then you go in the room and then they're doing rap battles. It's like what the hell? Like what kind of style of martial art is this? You know what I'm saying? But that's an aspect of the martial arts that people don't even realize is a part of the martial arts. A big part of the martial arts. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. They don't even realize it. You know? But yeah, that's the way I see it, man.